feeling. If you crush on me, you need to know my story. But don't get too close to me, cause I need my fantasy. Here I am.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Peters. I'm one of the co-owners of Red Rose Books, and this is my top 10 books that I read in 2023. So typically, I like to read a little bit of romance, a little bit of fantasy, a strong female lead, a sad story that makes you cry, and this list has a little bit of all of that and more. I try to challenge myself in selecting books that come from a diverse range of authors and stories that I may not typically pick off the shelves, and it's been a wonderful way to read a large variety and see something that I may not have ever known before. So we're gonna start off this list at number 10. So my number 10 book is The Idiot by Elif Batuman. And I feel like I should have read this book so much sooner. This is just a great coming of age story, and I think the main character is somebody that everyone can relate to, and this story of this girl in college in the 90s is just one that I think many people can relate to, and everyone at some point has been the idiot. At number 9, we have Heartless by Marissa Meyer. This book is one of my favorite YA books. I read it for the first time and I was flabbergasted. You know right from the beginning what's going to happen to the Queen of Hearts. We all see how she ends up in Alice in Wonderland, but the way that the author made this character so realistic and just have so many big dreams and hopes, and like the romance that she was put through and the torture and the pain, and she just wanted to be a baker. Like, the ending still sticks with me. It is unfair and glorious, and it was a wonderful YA book. At number 8, we have Under and Santi Were Here by Johnny Garza Villa. And if you go back a few videos, you can see my review on that, and the link is probably floating maybe here. And this book definitely falls into the category of a sad story. It is a beautiful romance, and it deals with immigration and having a love that can just go across any obstacle. At number 7, we have Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. This book was actually sent to us from Source Books, and I am so glad they did. This romance was insane. You were rooting for the main couple so much, and you just watch this strong character fight so many battles, and you are rooting for her the whole time, and it's a basketball sports romance, and I just thought that was really fun to read about. I don't usually read a lot of the sports romances, but this is a fantastic one. At number 6, this is Permission to Come Home by Jenny Wang. I don't typically read a lot of the nonfiction self-help books, but I truly felt like the author was talking directly to me. I think I read this book at the perfect time to have the most amount of impact. The chapter on Permission to Grieve had me crying the whole time, and I think that this is a beautiful story. This book is about mental health for Asian Americans, and I feel like the way that the author tackles each subject is just phenomenal. And if you want to read a book that will have you crying and then feeling good about it later, this is the one. So number 5, we have Gods of Jaden Shadow by Sylvia Morena Garcia, and this is the most wonderful fantasy book I read all year. I think it was so expertly written. Sylvia Morena Garcia can write a book. This is the death and the maiden trope, and it is gorgeous. I'm still thinking about lines from the last chapter, and the way that these two characters come together was beautiful. I am a big fan of this author. This was the second book I read by them, and I'm going to be buying anything that they put out from here on out. At number 4, we have Homicide and Halaal by Mia P. Manansala. This is the second book in Tita Rosie's Kitchen series. It's a cozy foodie mystery, and this is another one that I feel like I wouldn't have picked out for myself. Like, I'm not usually into like the cozy mysteries, but this book is just so cozy and you feel so good reading it. So this is the second book in the series, and I feel like this one has Lila's character coming more into herself. She's talking more about her mental health. I mean, I think a lot of the times in cozy mysteries, they kind of forget the fact that they're murder mysteries and that these are real people and they're not just like in like this fantasy makeup world. And I really love the way that the characters are written. All of Lila's family members are people in a Filipino family, and you just feel like you're reading a story about your titas and titos, and it's just so heartwarming. I love it. I love this series. I just finished the 3rd one, loved it, and I'm getting the 4th one soon. For number 3, we have A Diary of Blood by S.T. Gibson. I actually just finished this book last week. I'm obsessed. The way that it was written from the perspective of the vampire's wife to her husband was so well done. And I loved the story, and it was just so prime gothic literature. I will read anything that this author puts out. I think they did such a fantastic job. At number 2, we have Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I don't think this is a surprise to anybody. I'm sure this book is on so many people's top 10s, but it was spectacular. I'm a big fan of R.F. Kuang, and as you know from a couple videos ago, I will read anything she puts out. I have now read all 5 of the books that she has written. She's an auto-buy author. I think everyone should be reading this book, and is such a good commentary on racism in the publishing world, and I think that it is just a really fun story and a hateable main character, which I love. And now, for the number 1 book I read in 2023, Pet by Akwaeke Emezi. While I was reading this book, from the very first line, I knew it was going to be my favorite. This is just such an expertly written book, and the way that the author talks about gender and racism and all of the different issues that are presented in a society in a way that seems simplistic but not juvenile is expertly done. This book is just a wonderful allegory of our society, and I think that everyone should be reading this book. Definitely my favorite book of the year. So, what were your favorite books that you read this year? Did any of the books on my list make it on yours? Let us know in the comments down below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more.